This is HiveRadical here, just coming on. I know I've got several videos that I've promised, and I keep on making excuses to make others. I am honestly in the process of making those videos. This is a response to Emiteal. It's her response to someone, I can't remember his name, as I guess it's natedavidr. Anyway, this Emiteal, she's responding and giving reasons why she's voting no on Proposition 8 in California, proposition regarding the redefinition of marriage that's been made by the Supreme Court there in California, and Proposition of 8 being a modification, an amendment to the Constitution. She makes some arguments countering natedavidr's, and a lot of them around gender roles, and I felt to come on because the things she addresses are a bit off the mark in my view. They don't really support what she holds as what she values. First of all, she starts off on, well, the whole thing has as a theme throughout it the idea of gender roles, and gender roles being part of it. She mentions things, her perception in keeping marriage as defined between one man and one woman, as all of these kids she's seen in same-gender homes being raised up, and in her view, she says, these are her words, "I'm not going to invalidate their parents' marriage, the parents' marriage of I'm guessing it would have to be for kids whose parents recently got married or did some strictly ceremonial thing in the past." But and then she goes on to say that it would be an insult and a slap in the face to say single mothers who got out of abusive relationships, or single parents who got out of abusive relationships. And she says, that her view and her perspective is that it's support and stability, or having loving, attentive parents that are the key. And there's a bit of a disconnect here. She brings up the argument, and she brings it out several times, about what is it that a man can provide that a woman can't provide. And the thing is, aside from biological machinery needed to actually, to nurture, in a sense, to nurture the child in the womb, I certainly lack that, and other things, but certainly things can be compensated for on certain bases. But I think she's kind of hitting at the wrong angle on this, because it's not so much, if we can raise children that are stable and can get by in society. That's really not the issue. And a lot of people mistake a lot of this. It's also not the issue that a parent is simply loving and attentive. That's not the key either. I would agree with the whole idea of support and stability, but I think it goes a lot deeper. It goes beyond merely producing a child that can be a productive citizen of society. In reality, the state of Sparta demonstrated that the state itself can produce a citizen that functions well in a highly complex society, highly structured and complex society, without any real parental roles. It was it was something taken over by the state. The state dictated everything in Sparta. The issue that I see in support and stability goes far beyond merely the here and now. It goes beyond this generation. It goes to generation after generation after generation after generation. So you can't just merely look at the statistics and what can a male do that a female can't do. It's not that. That's a bit shallow, because the core issue is what, however you think we came to be, even if you think it's through, if we evolved from basic, biological building blocks that, however, came together, even if you're looking at it that way, gender arose out of that. and there's some reason that the gender is there, and gender is relevant. And so this whole idea that gender roles isn't relevant to the very thing that perpetuates our species seems just a specious and empty argument. It just doesn't hold water. This idea of emerging, and trying to tie this all back into, oh, well, you're trying to set back women's liberation. Women's liberation has nothing to do with it. Certainly, roles as perceived by society have changed in certain aspects, but there are other aspects that are built into us as humans, as biological beings, that you don't go messing with the fundamentals of those and have everything continue on as it has. You just can't do that. To go a little bit, let's see. And so her argument here, she says it's really important to get past gender roles. If the gender roles are, on the one hand, she brings up pants and how she likes wearing pants. Well, that's a really, again, a specious and non sequitur, irrelevant argument, because that's not the foundation of the issue at all. Again, it's something external, it's something superficial. The core, and again, males and females, yes, a female can do a lot, virtually everything that a male can, and a male can do virtually everything that a female can, with a few caveats there as far as social stuff. But it's also taking into consideration what is the whole mechanics make it likely that a male or a female will do. What does it make it likely that a male or a female, how they will react in certain situations? So it's not so much a question of capacity or ability. It's a question of tendency. And if you try and say, well, after how many eons of evolution, or however you want to say things were set up, if you want to say that there's no relevance to gender and gender has no relevance, then you're trying to ignore the whole of human history. And again, whether you look at this from a biological evolutionary standpoint, or whatever standpoint you want to look at it from,